Hello, good afternoon. We're just 93 days away from the 2024 general election. Welcome to Election Brief. We're live on DSTV channel 421, Go TV channel 125 on all our social media platforms and around the world at myjoyonline.com. Election headquarters is brought to you by Petrosol Platinum Energy, Energizing Dreams, the Chartered Institute of Management Accountants and the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants, together as the Association of International Certified Professional Accountants. Also brought to you by German Ozone Medical Center, Alternative Therapy, Dental Wellness and Beauty, as well as Chopbox Technologies, a convenience service, and Youth Bridge Foundation, bridging the gap for positive youth development. My name is Faustina Safo. Please stay for details. Thanks for choosing us. We're your home of independent, fearless, and credible journalism. The Economic Community for West African States has commenced a media engagement for all stakeholders ahead of the 2024 general election. In partnership with the National Peace Council, the Commission says it is doing all it can to ensure that Ghana's leadership role in consolidating democracy is sustained. Speaking to the media at the start of engagement this morning, the head of mediation at the ECOWAS Political Affairs Division, Constance Ghana Jade, called on all stakeholders to embrace peace in order to safeguard Ghana's enviable track record.
And this activity is a follow-up from the fact-finding mission. You know, ECOWAS, in all its member states, whenever there is an election, send a fact-finding mission. So what we find, we can not stay back. We do come back to interact with the stakeholders to make sure that anything that we perceive, we foresee may affect the running of a peaceful election. We engage with the stakeholders to make sure that we have peaceful and participatory election. That's why we are here. I have said several times, peace, inclusive, participatory. So Ghana is an icon in West Africa. So when we are counting member states that are models in democracy, Ghana is one of the champions. So we want Ghanaians to know that they have only one country. Whatever will happen, they need peace. The war in the world, the world lords are still discussing. They are negotiating. So there is no need to be violent. I think dialogue, negotiation is very important for the stability, for the growth of the citizen, and for the integration of ECOWAS region.
Meanwhile, the National Peace Council says it is working to resolve the conditions set by the National Democratic Congress, which will pave way for the main opposition to sign onto the Peace Pact. The NDC for days has declined the invitation from the council to sign the document, citing post-election related killings in Kintampo, amongst others, as the reason for not committing to the Peace Pact. However, speaking at the same event, the National Peace Council says it is making progress on resolving the outstanding issues. George Amo is Executive Secretary of the National Peace Council.
So there are conditions, and at any mediation table, that is what happens. People will bring their positions, and you help them adjust and build to a place of consensus, and that is what we are trying to do. We are talking to others who we believe can do something about the issues that the NDC raised. Already, we can see some signs. The Techiman issue, the court has ruled, and these are positive signs, and we want to encourage that we do that. We will do everything within our mandate to ensure we address any outstanding difference before the December election. And we are hopeful that all the parties will agree to sign on to a peace pact. negotiation, mediation, dialogue, they have always been enduring mechanisms for addressing differences, and we want to encourage that. And also to inform Ghanaians, the world has shown us a lot of examples that war and violence can never bring development, can never help democracy to grow. So we have an option. The option is to build on the gains we have made as a people. We've done this for more than 30 years. I don't see why we cannot do it this time around. So let us do all that we can to address the differences we have as a people, but have a Ghana that is at peace with itself after December as our objective. And let's work towards that.
Away from that, the Electoral Commission has rejected a request by the National Democratic Congress for a live telecast of their scheduled meeting tomorrow. The NDC have sought the meeting after identifying anomalies in the voters' register following the recent exhibition exercise, hoping to address their concerns directly with the EC. However, in a leaked memo signed by Bosman Asare, the EC declined the request to hold the meeting in front of cameras, opting to keep the discussion private at the Commission's headquarters. Well, the meeting will still proceed, but behind closed doors. On your screens now is a copy of that leaked statement by the EC, and it says that, "I bring you greetings from the Commission and trust this letter finds you well. Reference is made to your letter dated 4th of September 2024 with reference number." It states the number there in the above subject matter. The Commission stands in readiness to hear from the National Democratic Congress the discrepancies it has identified with the provisional voters register. As you already know, the essence of the voters exhibition exercise is to correct the discrepancies in the register. Such discrepancies include missing names, misplaced voters, and duplicate images, among others. The identification of discrepancies by your party is therefore not a new phenomenon. The Commission welcomes it in hope that it will help ensure a credible register ahead of the 2024 general election as envisaged by the exhibition exercise. The Commission is absolutely committed to free, fair, transparent, peaceful, and credible elections. However, that's where they make the point. The Commission does not accept the proposal of a live broadcast of this meeting. Our team is ready to meet with your team on the agreed time. Thank you. And that statement is signed by Bosman Asare. He's Deputy Chairman of Corporate Services at the EC. Well, let's get more on this and bring in Deputy Director of Elections and IT for the National Democratic Congress, Dr. Rashid Tanko Computer. Now, can you explain why the party feels it is important for this meeting to be broadcast live?
Dear, it is important because the Electoral Commission touts itself with a motto which states transparency is their hallmark. If you look at their motto, they say transparency. And we are doing this for transparency's sake. We think that the Ghanaian people need to know the extent of damage they have caused to the voter register. That is all that we're looking for, transparency. I mean, so we are surprised at the response of the Electoral Commission in the sense that this Electoral Commission says they are transparent in whatever they are doing. So why are they now choosing opacity over transparency? That is the question the media should be asking them. Because what do they have to hide? It appears they are hiding something from the general public. It is our register. It's a Ghanaian register. The exhibition was done publicly. All these things that we saw and we catalog and want to meet them was done publicly. So why are they now hiding behind the scene? They don't want the cameras to come and see the extent of damage we have uncovered in the register and want to let them see. That is all that we're looking for.
But Rashid, the ideal place for the NDC to raise some of these concerns is in IPAC meeting. The EC has gone the extra mile to grant you private audience. Why then do you want it to be broadcast live, especially when they have admitted already in previous press conference that indeed there are anomalies in the register, which they take full responsibility of?
Look, they didn't initially take full responsibility It was through our ingenuity that brought out this. We brought out the discrepancies, the anomalies. In fact, when we first wrote to them talking about the anomalies, they came out with a statement that their register was credible and robust and could be used for a purpose. It was later they realized that what the NDC was talking about was serious. When we started chaining out some of the discrepancies, teasing it out one by one, that is the time they realized that, hey, these people, they are really sitting on something. That is why they quickly rushed for the press conference to tell the whole world that, yes, they accept the anomalies and they are working towards it. Initially, they deny it. Go and see the press release that they came out and was trying to rubbish what we're trying to do, to tell the whole world. Clearly, look at the tone of his letter, Dr. Bosman's letter. Look at the tone. Bosman is trying to downplay the enormity of the problem. What he's talking about is not the issues we are talking about. Has he mentioned the issue of transfers? Which admission exercise we have ever done that you've seen that people have been transferred illegally? And that one has been. No, it has never happened. This is the first time we are seeing an illegality being perpetrated on the good people of Ghana. And we want to let the general public come along with us. That was just what we are looking for. The same thing that they are also promoting. They are sitting in their offices promoting what? Transparency.
The EC has turned down your request. Will the NDC still attend that meeting tomorrow?
Oh, why not? We will attend. We will attend the meeting, but we'll find another means of making sure that the public get along with what we are going to present to them. If they think that they don't want the media to come in, we will find another alternative means of making sure that the media are keeping in constant touch with what we are going to let them see. Because the thing that they need to is not for the Electoral Commission alone, it's for the whole country. That is what we want to do. We want the sanctity of our electoral process to be upheld. It is not for any individual. It is not for the commission to keep the thing and put it under carpet. That is what we are telling them. When we said it initially, we're not running away from it.
Will this affect your strategy in addressing the concerns that you have with the EC?
That's why I'm saying that our concerns are not to be addressed at IPAC. Exhibition concerns are not addressed at IPAC. That one there is simple. You gave us a PVR, that is the provisional register. And you didn't give us the PVR to come and decorate our offices. The register was given to us for us to peruse it. If we peruse it and we see the discrepancies, the right environment for us to discuss it, it's the Electoral Commission. That's why we go to them. We follow the due process. And they've granted that. And we are saying that because of the enormity of the issues and the interest is generated in this country, it is proper for transparency's sake to let us move there with cameras. Let the media come and capture it, broadcast it live, so that the Ghanaian people will see the issues that we talked about. Whether we're blowing hot air or we just manufacture things to make the Electoral Commission look black. That is what we are bringing. We're asking that they should be live broadcast. So why are they hiding? What do they have to hide? Why are they running away from their own transparency and they are not choosing opacity?
Since you say your concerns cannot be addressed in the IPAC, now you're meeting the EC directly, do you think your concerns will now be addressed?
That is what we are saying. We want to, these are observations we have seen in the PVR, and then the register they display. So we are bringing the thing, we make a presentation of what we have observed for them to correct the anomalies. That is simple and short. If you have moved people illegally and we have identified it, your duty is to move them back, because Dr. Bosman accepted that there was an illegality perpetrated on the good people of Ghana by this kind of illegal transfers, and then the bloating of the register. He accepted it and indicated that because they have moved some data from 2020 and added it to this 2024, management of data is a problem to them. So we're trying to just help them.
So what do you propose they do? What safeguards are you proposing to help fix some of these concerns you're raising?
Yeah, the safeguard is what we are bringing. That's why we want to make a presentation. In fact, it's a critical presentation about the heartbeat of the register. What might have triggered that? We are bringing observation. We have seen this. We have seen this. We have seen this. And this thing we have seen, you are the people who compile the register. Your IT people are there. They should explain it. Why this thing has happened like that? Why this thing has occurred in the register by increasing the numbers. So that we are creating an enabling environment for us to have a clean and transparent register. That is what we are just doing. And that's what we want the media to sit in. In any case, when the Peace Council came to meet us, didn't they come with cameras? The issues they came with cameras. The Peace Council sat with us and they were streaming it live. Your station was carrying it live whilst we were having a meeting with them. That issues that border with national security, they came with live cameras. What is this that these people are hiding, that they don't want cameras to come and see the extent of anomalies we have discovered in their register?
So how does the NDC plan to keep us, the public, informed about proceedings and the outcome of this critical meeting?
That is why we are saying that we will find another, proper means by making sure that the public will be along with us.
A press conference?
They have their vision and they think that we shouldn't, they won't allow a live broadcast. Let's get there. We'll find a means of making sure that the public will get to know what is going on.
And that means, does it include a press conference?
When we get there, we'll cross.
Thank you, Thanku Computer, for joining us here on Election Brief. If you just tuned in, the EC has declined a request by the NDC to telecast live their meeting tomorrow. And the NDC says they would still go to that meeting. However, they'll deploy ways and means to ensure that you and I get all the details of that meeting. Let's shift our attention now to other issues. Pressure is mounting on government to declare a state of emergency on endangered water bodies and rivers under siege from illegal miners. The Youth Caucus of Movement for Change, an alliance for revolutionary change, had added their voice to calls for an immediate end to the destruction of our environment by illegal miners. In a joint statement, the group took on the political leaders in the NPP and the NDC for trivializing the national crisis. On your screens now are excerpts of that statement by the Youth Caucus of both political parties, and key issues they raise in the first paragraph is that the Yellow Army of the Movement of Change, an alliance for revolutionary change, calls for an immediate end to the escalating destruction of our environment and communities due to illegal mining activities, commonly known as galamsey. We are also deeply disturbed by a recent statement made by political leaders in the NDC and MPP that trivialize this national crisis. Now, they go on to state some of the key issues. We already know that illegal mining is actually causing water treatment costs to rise by 60%. They go on to state the current state of the white voter is changing. And they say that recent news reportage has also exposed the health repercussions of illegal mining, where babies born in galamsey-prone areas suffer cognitive impairment. So let's move on to the last paragraph of that statement, which actually is where they call for change. Now, in that last part of the statement, they say that the only way you can deal with illegal mining as a country is if indeed, as a country, we take out the duopoly, the NDC and the MPP. Let's bring in the leading member of the communications team for Movement for Change and the Alliance for Revolutionary Change, Gabby Tread Jr. He joins us live here on Election Brief. Now, you say the solution to dealing with illegal mining begins with breaking the duopoly. Explain why.
Oh, okay. So let me say a very good afternoon to you and, of course, your viewers. Of course, I mean, we all witnessed what happened in Parliament about 2 days ago when the Honorable Prayer made, it look like politics of equalization when it comes to fighting this galamsey menace. One thing that we want to put forth, one thing about the Ghanaian political landscape is the domination of these two political parties, saying that they believe that every 8 years, they will get a chance to loot the resources of this country, saying that they are so comfortable living 8 years without power. And then in no time, 8 years to the ordinary Ghanaian seems a very long time. But in the political class, because they've gotten more than enough to span for 8 years, they see it to be a very short period. So when they come to office, all that they do is to amass for themselves wealth at the expense of the ordinary Ghanaian. So we are saying that tackling galamsey is the first aspect to break the duopoly that we've enjoyed over 32 years of our very existence as a people. Because if we don't tackle Galamsey. Clearly, the two parties have not really shown any commitment to tackling Galamsey. If any of these two political parties have really, gone through the limits to fighting this menace, we wouldn't get the Honorable Anodonbre politicizing and then, of course, equalizing who have really destroyed the natural habitat of this country. It's really a very unfortunate statement by the majority chief whip. So we at the Movement for Change, an Alliance for Revolutionary Change, we are saying that for them to prove to us that they really want to tackle this menace, then the approach by the Honorable Dompre and then the response by the minority wouldn't have been the issue. So clearly, these two political parties have benefited from this menace at the expense of...
Well, these are allegations we cannot prove. Let's deal with the issues and stay away from personal attacks. I'm quite interested in what different approach the Movement for Change would take to effectively deal with illegal mining if given the nod to govern the country.
We are saying that it takes a very radical approach in solving this menace. And that is what the Honorable Alan Chematen is presenting. Because the truth of the matter is that, per the Honorable Professor Frimpong Boateng's report, where government officials were fingered in this Galamsey menace. And then what happened afterwards? The man was ousted from his position as a Minister of State, and then he was later taken out of government. All the revelations, all the very things that he put to light were just trivialized. So clearly, there is no commitment on the part of the government to solve Galamsey. Every single government official in this administration is being linked to Galamsey of a sort.
Allegations we can't prove, Gabi. Now, I want you to give me specifics. What approach would the Movement for Change take?
We are saying that in the next 2 years of power, when Ghanaians vote the Honorable Alan Chematen into office, we are going to tackle Galamsey head on. We are going to engage the community opinion leaders. We are going to engage the chiefs of these communities. We are going to engage all other relevant civil society organizations in tackling this Galamsey menace, including the state security services.
But Gabi, we've been doing engagements for the past 8 years. And we are worse than when we even started in the first place. I wanted to see more commitment. What else apart from engagement?
There is no radical approach. You see, it's more or less, let's say something to represent something. Let's tell Ghanaians that we want to fight this menace. How do you tell me that you want to fight Galamsey when there are video footages across board where Ghana Police Service, personnel of the Ghana Police Service, is protecting some Europeans, even though...
Unfortunately, we seem to be losing connection to you, Gabi. Thank you for your time here on Election Brief. We'll expand the conversation later on the polls as we look at the comprehensive plan for the Movement for Change and how they plan to tackle illegal mining. Let's do some other stories now. Spokesperson of the former President John Dramani Mahama, Joyce B, has stated that she's confident that the National Democratic Congress has what it takes to win all 11 parliamentary seats across the Bono East region. The special aide to the former president, who was speaking in an exclusive interview with our Bono East regional correspondent Anna Sabet, said there is a need for Ghanaians to vote for a change in order to reset the country from its current economic crisis. There's more in this report.
As part of the 4-day tour of the former president John Dramani Mahama here in the Bono East region, we just caught up with Joyce B Mokari, who is the former president's spokesperson. Of course, we are set to engage her to find out from her, her impression about the campaign or the tour so far, and what are some of the critical things or critical messages that she believes the NDC has outlined to deal with the challenges the people in the region are facing, and whether the NDC has what it takes to win all 11 constituencies here in the Bono East region.
As someone who has followed the John Dramani Mahama campaign train since 2016, I must confess that if you observe what happened in 2020, I can see the rousing crowds, the welcoming crowds, above average crowds. And I hear the chiefs, I hear the opinion leaders. I've seen all the community day schools. I've seen all the hospital facilities, the CHIPS compounds. I know in my heart that the good Lord is faithful. That when it comes to the polls in December, John Mahama Befa Ampa. This is
purely an agrarian region, for the food basket of the country. Do you think the manifesto of the NDC has what it takes to put smiles on the faces of farmers in the region?
You know, our manifesto so far, since it was launched, nobody has asked us any questions. The whole theme says resetting Ghana, jobs, accountability, prosperity for all. And when Mr. Mahama spoke about free fertilizers, when we arrived here, you heard him. When he spoke about access to cocoa growing areas by way of cocoa rows, you heard the reaction. When he spoke about water, basic for the people in this catchment area, you heard them. When he spoke about rural electrification, indeed yesterday at Atebubu, you saw how the power kept fluctuating. This is the second time. When we went on the Let's Build Ghana tour, it was happening. Nothing has changed. The people in this community know a man who cares about farming. John Mahama was raised by a farmer. He himself has huge farming interests. So when he promises agric centers to be full areas to serve agric communities, I'm sure he knows what he's talking about. Look, so for our part, we are working very hard to promote our manifesto on the economy, on agric, on infrastructure, on education. You saw some of the amazing community day schools, including ones that have accommodation for teachers. Tell me, is this a man who was not interested in Ghana's future? Look at some of the schools you've seen in some of the communities, for example. So when you see decent blocks for schools, people need some level of comfort to be able to study and study properly. I believe that there's no doubt that infrastructure is also one of the biggest things that we lack. And so being one of the newly created regions, you can see that not much is taking place.
8 out of the 11 constituencies in the region, 8 seats out of 11. We've been hearing Agenda 11-11. You want to capture all the 11 seats. From what you have seen throughout your tour, is that achievable?
But you should know that it's very easily achievable. If in the difficulties of an opponent like the elephant, we have 8 out of 11 seats, then looking forward to 11 over 11 is something that we can easily achieve. You know, look around you. There must be a good reason. People who farm know a man who understands farming. People who farm know a man who cares. People who farm know leaders who have lied their way to power through propaganda and falsehoods. Indeed, John Mahama today stands tall and vindicated on all the lies, even on the economy. Who has better managed the economy? Who has borrowed less and done well with it? When they say Mahama si obey yoa, and they ampa.
Well, that's it for Election Brief. Thank you for making time to join us. For more news, please log on to myjoyonline.com. My name is Faustina Safo. Good afternoon.